Chapter 6 The Great Debater. This is my day. I will do something good. This is your day. You make a difference. Together we can change the world. That's what Gateway always says. And after watching The Great Debaters, I believe it even more. The Great Debaters is a powerful and inspiring movie based on real life events. It follows the story of the Willie College debate team in 1935, a small college in Marshall, Texas. This team faced big challenges, but they never gave up. They worked hard, trained hard, and stood up for what they believed in. In the end, they made a history by winning a debate against Harvard University. Watching the movie made me feel proud. It reminded me that we can achieve great things even when the odds are against us. The debaters in the movie showed us that education, courage, and hard work can open doors, like getting scholarships, going to college, and even earning a PhD. It was just entertaining. It was motivational. It made me wanted to do more with my life. One character who stood out to me was the most was Henry Lone. He had a hard life. He got into fights, ended up in jail, and made some big choices. But over time, he started changing. He learned how to control himself, focus on debate, and became one of the best speakers on the team. I respected how he kept going even when life was rough. His story reminded me that anyone can grow and improve, no matter what their past looks like. Another character I really liked was Samantha Bookie. She was the only girl on the debate team, and that wasn't easy. People didn't believe her at first, but she proved them wrong. She practiced, worked hard, and gave powerful speeches. She showed me that believing in yourself matters, even when others don't. Samantha's courage was a big reminder to never let anyone tell you you're not good enough. My favorite part of the movie was when the Willie debate team faced off against Harvard University. It was the biggest moment. The team spoke with confidence, gave strong arguments, and won. That moment gave me chills. All their hard work, late nights, and challenges led to something amazing. It proved that teamwork, determination, and heart can beat anything, even fear. This movie didn't just show people debating, it showed people standing up for justice and truth, even when it was risky. Back in 1935, racism and unfair treatment were everywhere, especially in the South. But the Willie College team didn't back down. They debated with strength, pride, and respect. That took real courage. In conclusion, The Great Debaters is more than just a movie. It's a lesson about never giving up. It shows us the power of hard work, courage, and believing in ourselves. It teaches us to rise up, speak out, and make a difference. Whether you're facing something big or small, you can learn from this story and use it to push forward. Just like Gateway says, this is my day. I will do something good. This is your day. You can make a difference. Together we can change the world. And I believe that. Chapter 7 My Decision Making. Decision making is one of the most important tools we use every single day. It helps shape not only who we are, but also the kind of future we want for ourselves. When I looked at how I make decisions from what time I studied to what kind of person I wanted to become, I realized that every choice adds up to something bigger. In this chapter, I will explore the decisions I've made that helped me in school, in teamwork, and in planning for my future. For starters, I know that I'm most productive in the morning. After I wake up and eat breakfast, I feel energized and ready to focus. I'm more alert and clear headed during the early part of the day, which makes it the perfect time for handling difficult schoolwork. Mornings are when I feel like the best version of myself, and that's when I aim to take on tasks that need full attention and effort. I've also learned a lot about, from the types of schoolwork I enjoy versus the ones I don't. For example, I really like working on the February Friendship Project in the junior final film. The project the friendship project gave me a chance to collaborate with others and practice real communication skills, while the film gave me the freedom to work independently and be creative. On the other hand, the famous speech assignment was tough. I didn't enjoy being interrupted while presenting, but I learned that handling situations with maturity is just as important as the task itself. Each experience taught me something about how I work best and how to adjust when things don't go the way I expected. Work, even schoolwork, can lead to personal success. When I finish a project and get to look back at what I've done, it's an amazing feeling to know what that my hard work lead to a result I can be proud of. That sense of reward helps push me to take on the next challenge and build motivation over time. I also believe that being open to learning, what people call lifelong learning, is is directly connected to doing well in your career. If you're willing to learn new things, build relationships, and grow from feedback, people will notice. It shows you're dedicated, and dedication opens the door to promotions, new roles, and bigger opportunities. First impressions also matter more than we think. I remember one bad first impression I made when applying to a school. I talked about knowing all 50 states, but admitting I didn't know the capitals. It wasn't helpful in that moment and didn't reflect what I could really bring to their school. But I've also had great first impressions, like when I joined my sister's field hockey team and everyone welcomed me, even though I was the only guy. That taught me that even if people don't accept you, others will, and they're the ones that matter. There have been times I had to work with people I didn't know or who were different from me. Sometimes I wasn't hesitating, like when I worked with someone who had a bad reputation for not doing their part. Sadly, they didn't step up, and I ended up finishing the project on my own. But I still tried to go in with an open mind because you never know what someone is going through. That experience taught me patience and responsibility. Truth and reliability are two traits that I value deeply. Being on top, getting the job done, and being someone others can depend on is so important, not just in school, but in any future job I'll have. These qualities are the foundation of success. They help me build strong teams and show others they can count on you. One of my favorite phrases is every moment counts. For me, this ties directly into how I manage my time and stay focused. Rather, it's finishing a project, studying for a test, or choosing what to do after school. Every decision I try to waste time because I know how much it adds up. When I take my tasks seriously and keep a positive mindset, it shows in the work I do. Right now, the choices I'm making are already helping me shape my future. I'm no I'm involved in student council. I care about my grades and I'm focused on what I want to do next. For example, I discover I love coding. That interest is now something I want to study in college and maybe even turn into a career. Being focused now helps prepare me for college applications and for building a future I'll be proud of. When I think about what I want in a job, I know I need a positive respect for work environment. I like working with people who communicate well, respect boundaries, and support each other. I wanted flexibility when needed, fairness, and an overall sense of balance. On the flip side, I don't want to be in an environment full of laziness, drama, or respect. I want to grow in a place where I feel motivated and included. Rather in school or work, I've learned that teamwork needs responsible behavior. That means sharing tasks, communicating clearly, and caring about the team's success, not just your own. Everyone should be on the same page and aim for the same goal. Looking back, there are things I already do that put me on a good path. I studied every day, worked out to stay healthy, eat clean, and stay away from distractions, like too much phone time. I also make sure to get enough sleep so I can be productive and focused. During the summer, I love to travel. It gives me a new way of looking at the world. Whether I'm in Argentina, Bolivia, or somewhere new, I've always learned something about other cultures and about myself. I try new things like sports or languages, and that has made me more open minded and confident. If I had to pick two careers right now, they would be coding or working in information technology. I wanted to be part of something that's shaping the future. Technology is a big part of our lives, and I would love to contribute to that in a meaningful way. In the end, every decision I make, big or small, plays a role in who I am becoming. Whether it's a school project, a job I want, or how I treat others. The choices I make today are helping me build the future I dream of. And that's what decision making is all about. Building a life that you're proud of, one choice at a time. Chapter 8, English class, October 22nd, 2022, Thriving Project. Over the past few weeks in English class, I spent time working on the Thrively project. This project was all about taking a sense of quizzes to help me learn more about who I am. There were four quizzes in total. Each one asked me questions about things I like to do, my hobbies, how I think, and what interests me. I learned about my strengths, smarts and habits, and personality, and what makes me unique. One of the first things I discovered was my top strengths. According to the assessment, I have assertiveness, flexibility, resilience, leadership, and analogical thinking. I'm not afraid to speak up or share my thoughts. I enjoy expressing myself and I feel confident when I do. I also have a flexible personality. I can adapt when things don't go as planned. Resilience means I bounce back after facing challenges, and I know that's true for me because I have to overcome a lot, like switching schools and starting over. Leadership comes naturally when I care about something, and I enjoy taking the lead when it helps others. Being analogical means I think things through and ask questions, which helps me make good decisions. Next, I learn about my top three types of smarts. There are nature smart, self smart, and people smart. Nature smarts means I enjoy the natural world and like learning about animals, plants, and science. Self smarts means I understand myself well. I take time to reflect on how I feel and why I think the way I do. And people smart means I'm good at working with others and understanding their emotions. I think these are I think these all describe me very well, especially people smart because I care about others and want to be kind to those around me, especially my friends. Then I learn about my top habits. My three strongest habits are creating, imagining, and innovating. Being open to continuous learning and usual all my senses, the first habit means I'm always thinking of new ideas and finding creative ways to express myself. I love doing that in projects, especially when I can work independently or add something personal to this assignment. The second habit means I'm always open to learning something new. I don't want to stay stuck in what I already know. And the third habit is about using all five senses sight, hearing, touch, taste, and smell to solve problems and understand the world. I think that's true too, because I like to use all kinds of tools to help me focus and understand better. Finally, I learn about my personality types. My top three are artistic, social, and conventional. Artistic means like to create to be creative through music, design, writing, and other forms of art. Social means I enjoy helping others, being part of a team, and supporting people when they needed it. And conventional means I like structure, clear directions, and strong leadership. That's something I've learned about myself in group projects. I do my best work when there's a clear goal and when everyone knows what their job is. In conclusion, I really enjoy the Thrively project. I think the results I got were accelerate, and I learned new things about myself too. I realized how many different parts make me who I am: my strengths, how I learn, how I work with others, and how I like to express myself. This project reminded me that being self aware is important and that knowing yourself better can help you grow in school, friendships, and your future. I'm glad we did this in English class, and I'll remember these lessons as I keep learning and moving forward. Chapter 9: Vice President, Good Morning Gateway. Good Morning Gateway. That's how I began one of the most important speeches of my life. My name is Giuseppe Volvecchi Bailey, and on the day I stood in front of the entire student body, running for student council president. My hands were shaky a little, but my voice was clear. I knew I was there. I knew why I was there. I wanted to make a real difference at our school. I didn't just want a title. I want to be a leader who listened, who cared, and who showed up for others. I started with one word: change. That word meant everything to me. It reminded me of how far I had come since middle school, when I was bullied for being different. Back then, I felt like I didn't belong anywhere. But all of that started to change when I came to Gateway in 8th grade. I hoping for a fresh start, and Gateway gave me just that. Here I could finally breathe, I could be myself. The teachers believed in me. My classmates welcomed me. For the first time in a long time, I felt safe, seen, and supported. So when I said change in my speech, I wasn't just saying a word, I was sharing my story. I told everyone that I would make silly promises. No vending machines in every hallway, no pizza every day. That's not what real leadership is. I told them I would lead with something more important: honesty. I promised to listen, to really listen, not just hear their words, but understand their ideas and speak up for them during student government meetings. I wanted every student to feel included. I also shared something personal about my sister Hallie. She's in college now, and she's one of the biggest supporters. Back in freshman year, I wanted to quit the science fair. I felt like I wasn't good enough, but Hallie wouldn't let me give up. She pushed me to keep going. I ended up winning third place in my grade, and that moment showed me that with the right support, anything is possible. That's the kind of leadership I wanted to be for others. Someone who shows up, who believes in you, and helps you keep going, even when it's hard. When I talked about fun things like pep rallies, fundraisers, and food trucks, it wasn't just about having fun, it was about bringing us together, about building school spirit and making Gateway a place where everyone feels proud to be part of something special. I ended my speech with something I truly believed in: partnership. I said, I'm not just asking for your vote, I'm asking for your trust. But because real leadership means working together, it's not just one person making all the choices, it's a team, a community. And I knew Gateway could be a place where we all belong, where we can grow, learn, and make a difference together. So I finished with words from our school pledge. This is my day. I will do something good. This is your day. You can make a difference. Together we can change the world. That day wasn't just about trying to win, it was all about showing who I had become. I walked off that stage proud, not just of my speech, but how far I've come. Whether I won or not, I knew I was already part of the change I had hoped. Chapter 10: Student Body President. The morning I returned to the stage as a presidential candidate felt different. This wasn't my first time standing in front of the Gateway community, but this time it wasn't just about running for leadership. It was about proving I had grown into it. Good morning, Gateway Academy, I said, looking out at the sea of familiar faces. My name's Giuseppe Volvecchia Bailey, and I had the honor of serving as your vice president of student government. Now I was stepping forward again, but this time as a candidate for student body president. I wanted to make one thing clear. I was running not to stand above anyone, but to stand with everyone. I told the students I am standing before you today to represent your voice. That wasn't just a line, it was something I meant deeply. I wanted every student at Gateway to feel like their voice mattered because I knew what it felt like when it didn't. I reminded everyone of the difference between being heard and being listened to. Being heard is when people nod, then move on. Being listened to, that's when someone understands you and takes action. That's what I promised to do as president. I wasn't there to say what sounded good. I was there to do what felt right. I had learned a lot during my time as vice president. I worked closely with the former president and saw the firsthand what it takes to lead. I knew leadership wasn't about flashing promises or getting everything you wanted. It was about working together, making compromises, and finding solutions that benefit everyone. I even gave an example. If we wanted Food Truck Fridays but couldn't afford it, maybe we could do tacos every other Tuesday instead. I wanted to be realistic, but also creative. That's what leadership is. Then I shared something personal. I told them, I've been in a lot of your shoes, and I meant it. Back in public school, I felt invisible. I needed help and asked for it, but I was ignored. That hurt. That stuck with me. And it's why I was running. I wanted every student to know that as their president, I would never let them feel overlooked or forgotten. Gateway changed that for me. I've been here since 8th grade. But I came here because I was bullied for being different. That time in my life was tough, but Gateway was different. Gateway was safe. It gave me the space to grow, to build confidence, and to become who I am today. The teachers and students welcomed me, and I never forgot that. That's why I wanted to give back. One of the biggest inspirations that has always been my sister. She believed in me before I believed in myself. She encouraged me to enter the science fair, and even when I felt like giving up. She reminded me to finish what I started. Because of her, I won 3rd place. But more importantly, I learned that the power of someone standing by your side. She also helped me step out of my comfort zone, like when she had me join her field hockey club, an environment that was totally new for me. At first, it was a challenge, but I adapted. And that experience taught me a lesson. Life won't always follow a routine. Sometimes we're thrown into new spaces, but if we stay open and flexible, we can overcome anything. As president, I wanted to be that kind of support for others. I wanted to help people push through their stubs, aim higher, and believe that we're capable, even when things felt hard. So I closed my speech from the heart. I'm not just asking for your vote, I said, I'm asking for your partnership. Because leadership isn't about doing it alone, it's about doing it together. And I believed in what we could build. With your ideas, your energy, and your voices, we could make Gateway the best it had ever been. And finally, I brought it back to the words we already knew by heart. This is my day. I will do something good. This is your day. You can make a difference. Together we can change the world. That morning, as I stepped away from the microphone, I wasn't thinking about winning or losing. I was thinking about the trust I had earned. I was thinking about all the students who maybe, just maybe, feel like a little more seen that day. Whatever happened next, I knew this. I have found my voice, and I would never stop using it for others.